my name is C.K. Hicks. I live in the United States and am one of the many visual effects artists currently working on Threads of Destiny. As a compositor, it's my job to take live-action footage along with elements created either in post-production or production and blend them together to create the final shot. So for example, in this scene, we have the raw footage, eliminated the background and put them into a completely CG environment. Then we've added more background footage that will later be a hologram. Have our first color and shadow pass, our first lighting pass, and then more interactive lighting, final touches, and that's the finished shot.
Hi, I'm Hector Vives and I'm from Spain. I'm a 3D animator for Threads of Destiny. I've animated some space scenes for the film, and for those, Rasmus sent me the models of the main ships that appear. They are the Starstream, which is the hero ship, and is piloted by Karl Lassberg, and the Dread, that belongs to the Dark Lord Siege of the Skembi Empire. So what I had to do is take the ships, animate them, and add the lighting, special effects and such. For this specific shot, Rasmus wanted the Starstream to fly dramatically towards the camera, and spinning to avoid the Dread's lasers. So what I did was animate this ship first, and make all corrections to make the movement look well and smooth. And then I animated the Dread chasing it. Then I had to add the lasers. For those, I used visible lights and the particle system to make it easier, and I animated the emission rates to make the shots more irregular, more human-made. At last, when all looked good and the lighting was okay, I made the final render, and this is the result.
Hi, my name is Karl Lassberg, and I created the back alley model for the Star Wars Threads of Destiny movie. The alley underwent some drastic changes during its initial development. The first version was more like a room. I also experimented with an extremely long version. There's also a lot of things that were added from the original concept. I remember at the beginning there was supposed to be a really big hole in the floor. No matter how I moved it around the room, I couldn't find a practical spot for it. So it ended up being totally removed. Another change was the addition of a bunch of extra props such as barrels, crates, and some other things. There was also large parts of the model that needed to be improvised. I didn't know what was supposed to be down that side corridor, as well as there was the question of what was to be put at the other end of the alley. So I ended up putting a large cargo door down there. One of my favorite parts was getting to put all those crazy details that I do all the time.
Hi, my name's Logan and I'm from New Zealand, and I'm a 3D artist working on Threads of Destiny. And for this scene I did the textures and lighting. So for the textures I got images of metal and hull plating and that sort of stuff, and then mapped it onto the 3D environment. I then used specular and bump mapping and a few dirt shaders to give it that sort of old, warm look. For the lighting, I used an infinite light coming through the window to simulate the light being reflected off the planet. And I used a row of spotlights coming from the ceiling to simulate the light being cast by the ceiling lamps. And I also used a row of omni-lights running down the centre of the corridor to give it just a little bit of extra ambient light.
Hi, my name is Marcelo Tanuri. I live in Brazil. My job in Threads of Destiny is make models, renders, and animations of the characters and scenes that will be in the movie. One of them is the LA sequence. It's a difficult job, but very pleasurable. My target isn't only to make the movement of the characters, but give them personality. I make everything about it here in Brazil. I do what the director wants me to. Then I send it for him to analyze and give me his feedback. We do that process until a good result. So, I hope you like it as much as I do.
Hi, my name is Andreas Pike. I live in Germany and am one of the many compositors who are working on Star Wars Threads of Destiny. Compositors like me are actually the last ones in the production of visual effect shots. we receive all the elements which were either shot or created by others to blend them together into the final product. In this shot, it started out with the CGI background showing the corridor. So it began with adding the planet behind the window in the back, then creating some light flickering to suggest that the equipment in this environment is very old. After that, I had to create a camera move to add some life and drama to the shot. But because this is a still image, I projected it onto a simple geometry to create convincing perspective shifts when the camera moves. This is the green screen footage that was originally shot, which I projected onto cards in 3D space, including some color correction and some new shadows. The animated CGI characters were composited along with the live action ones, some color correction added to them too, and as a final request, I rendered an R2 unit myself and composited into the foreground. And this is the final shot.